Hello and welcome to this edition of Spotlight with Sandhya. In today's show, we are going to visit someone who views human beings in all their complexities and uses it as inspiration for her life's passion. So here we are at Sharmila Mukerjee's studio.
Dhira Samire Yamuna Tire Dhira Samire Yamuna Tire Vasati Vane Vanamali Vasati Vanamali.
Wow, that looks so lovely, Sharmila. Thank you for letting us into your beautiful space.
Thank you, Sandhya, for having me here. It's my pleasure to be on your show. And
Sharmila Mukerjee has performed on stages across the world, and she's an equally reputed choreographer who composes her own ballets and several other performances that have been talked about across India. She's also a dance guru and has the Sanjali Academy of Odissi Dance here in Bangalore. Now, Sharmila, what I want to know more about is how you were inspired to show character like Kaikeyi in a different light. From through the ages, she's been shown only as a despicable character, a villain who was responsible for sending Rama to exile. But you have been depicting her in a different light. What is it that inspired you to do that? Can you tell us?
yeah, sure. Sandhya, actually, I've always been very fascinated with these characters, with these slightly the main characters, and the ones who have been shown in a negative light. But why? I mean, everybody's human. So, I believe that human beings have negative and positive. Somebody cannot be perfect, somebody cannot be all bad. So I decided, delve into this character, and I spoke to my script writer, Pandit Nityanand Mishra in Odisha. And he said that she's not a negative character, and whatever she did because she believed in it very strongly, and she was a very she was an extremely brave charioteer, and she had a lot of compassion in her. She loved Ram as much as she did her own son Bharat, but there was obviously a reason for what she did, why she did it, and she believed very strongly in it, and she did regret it also later on. So why should we always cast her aside as a despicable quintessentially evil queen? I wanted to show another human side of her. I always believe doing that with all my characters. In all my productions, I have shown my characters to have negative and positive, including the main character, the heroine, the hero. They don't have to be perfect, They will have, and even the negative characters have a nice side to them. So it's very interesting for me to do that. And that is the reason why I decided to work with Kaikeyi and show her in a different light.
Wonderful. One of the things that you've also done is train hearing impaired children to perform in a ballet, I think. I also know that you
Yes.
do a lot of performance for charity. What is your opinion of an artist as an agent of social good?
I think we as artists, whether we are, it's dance or music or films or theater, we all have a responsibility, and we should use our art as an instrument of to spread good, to as a social message. Art is aesthetics for me, but it has to have substance. I mean, there is enough happening in the world around you. You could reach out to a larger audience with a social message, and years of practice and dedication, learning. What is it all for if we're not going to do it for social good? So yes, performing for charity, teaching hearing impaired children, making them perform, making them feel good about themselves. These are things that I have done. and it has worked successfully. And I think that if I have spent so many years learning, the art form, then I have to also now, do some good socially. So that's why I believe in it very strongly. And it is not only for entertainment's sake, or, to sort of just do it for my sake and to be in the limelight. It's not for that. I believe that we do have a responsibility and we should reach out.
Great. Sharmila, one of the things that endeared you to me many years ago when we first met was that you were able to speak Kannada very well, which is our local language. And this is something that I feel goes a long way in creating that sense of belonging to a place that you move to. It also makes you more acceptable, and you feel a sense of belonging and rooted to the new culture that you have moved to. I also know that one of your ballads is composed with Kannada folk songs. Can you tell us something more about it? I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, actually, I took this from A.K. Ramanujan's The Flowering Tree, and I've adapted it from there. And the whole production, the whole drama is set in a village in Karnataka. So it was very interesting for me. I wanted to do something from Karnataka. I moved to Bangalore in 2004, and I love Bangalore. So and there are beautiful stories. So when I came across this one, The Flowering Tree, it just suited the Odissi dance form so well, because it was so, it had a lot of pathos. It's a very simple story, and it's aesthetic. So in every way, it appealed to me. And I took this and I named it Sushma. And it is about, and yeah, it does have some Kannada folk dances in it. And I used some ilkal saris from Karnataka and made them wear, the village girls wear it like a dhoti. So that was very interesting for me to work with. And we stuck to the dance form Odissi, of course, and with some folk dances. And it's about a girl who has the ability to turn into a flowering tree, and she gets exploited till she completely breaks. So it had a very strong message regarding environment and the cutting of trees. And it was premiered first in 2016, and we've performed it quite a few places after that.
So talking about, things that we all learned to do during the lockdown, I think you were one of the earliest performing artists who started going online. If I remember right, I think a couple of months ago, you did a rehearsed performance of one of your upcoming ballads. Am I right? I saw it live on Facebook, and subsequently you did something on YouTube too. Care to tell us more about it?
Yeah, it was actually the one that we showed on social media was a part of a pure dance piece. So that was a new choreography of mine, and it's a beautiful one based on Raga Jinjoti. And we had rehearsed it so much that as a group, it was a group composition. My girls had rehearsed it so much that I decided to show a little excerpt of it when we we were supposed to perform it on 14th of April. This was as a tribute to my guru, late Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra. We do this festival every year, Prabaha, which got cancelled this time due to the pandemic. So I decided to show an excerpt of it. And following that, we did about another 2 series of, I also premiered on YouTube, Sushma, because, it was there for about a few hours. I premiered that, and it was accepted quite well. And then I showed another, also showed, actually I was supposed to perform in Netherlands this year for the Corzo Festival. So they also premiered a bits, excerpts of Hansika and Kaikai. So everything was shown for a few, kept for about a day and then taken off.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you think, performances can be monetized going forward? Because I think it's going to be a while before you manage to get audiences, that can pay enough to make it worthwhile to have a physical performance. So do you think you would be able to monetize the virtual performances? Have you been thinking of some? What are your plans?
It's a worrying thing, because I personally, ever since 2016, whenever, when we did the Sukshma, I ticketed it. And in Bangalore, I have managed to have, good ticketed shows. I mean, people do come, people do buy, they call up and ask, where are the tickets available and how much are they? And, so it is, Bangalore is one of the cities in which people do buy tickets. So I have always done all my shows and festival tickets, because I feel that, there's so much of hard work that is going on behind the scenes for years, and, for months. You conceptualize something and then you put it to action, and there's so much money and time and energy spent. So people should respect that. It should be like any other profession where they come to watch something, and they should pay for it. So I have always had live shows ticketed. And it's very worrying that there were so many free shows happening before, and now online it's even more worrying, because this is not a good trend, I feel. Firstly, yes, online shows cannot replace live shows, that's there. But then if everything is free, then how do arts survive? So definitely we have to think of a way to make it remunerative, because otherwise it's very difficult. And it's not only difficult for artists, even technicians like sound engineers and the light technician, makeup men. It's very sad for them. But when we do online performances now, I feel it has to be remunerative. There are ways of doing it, and I think the senior dancers, senior gurus have to come together, and they're trying. Everybody's trying. We're trying to work out a way. It's going to take some time, but I'm hoping that it should be done.
I guess these are challenges that all of us have to face and come out with a plan that works for everybody. Have you also been using this time for inspiration? Like we discussed, an artist is really connected more deeply to what's happening around us and to the environment. So apart from just the aesthetic aspect of a dance performance, do you think as a choreographer and a dancer, you're able to come out with something more meaningful now? Have you seen any evolution happening within you now during this pandemic and the subsequent introspection that all of us have been indulging in?
Yes, Sandhya, definitely. This time has been for me so much is happening all over the world, and you do get affected by it. And as I said earlier, also, we artists have a responsibility. We cannot bury our heads in the sand. For how long? So we have to, it's art is about that. It's about life. So I feel that now my next production or choreography has to be more meaningful, has to have a strong social message. Aesthetics is important, but that's not the only thing. Entertainment is not the only thing. It definitely has to have a strong message. I'm working on it. I've already thought of how to, do something. I don't know when we can do our next live show, but for me, it's very important that I need to give strong message, and my thoughts, what I feel as an artist should be, portrayed to the audience. So yes, definitely it has been a period of introspection. You see so much happening in the world, and everything is not hunky dory, not too good. Everything, misery. You see poverty. You see violence. You see so much. There is so much happening because of this pandemic, and it is something that has made me think now as an artist. And how can I? How do I contribute? So yes, definitely I will be hopefully doing something when we can do a live show.
Thank you very much, Sharmila. I think it'll be something really worthwhile, whether we see that show online or in real life on a stage. I do hope that happens very soon. And meanwhile, I want to thank you for joining us today at the show. Thank you so much, Sharmila. And to our viewers, thank you for watching this episode of Spotlight with Sandhya. Please keep your suggestions coming about people I could interview on this show. And don't forget to subscribe to the Raintree Media channel on YouTube. See you soon.
Thank you, Sandhya.